Good morning. I've had a lot of people to ask me, Brenda, do you sift your flour before you make biscuits? And the answer is yes, because I use the same bowl. So sometimes little crumblies get down in where I have fixed my fixed my biscuits. So I just take my sifter like this and I grab up all that extra. And then this flour, white lily flour, is so fine that it flies away if you don't. So here's how I do it. I just put a clean cloth over it. This is the same cloth that I use just to cover it each day. I pick up the handle and I find the other little handle that you turn, and I don't go in a circle. I go back and forth. And then none of that stuff will fly up in my kitchen or in my face. Let's see if we got anything. Then you unwrap it and you look inside, and here's what I've got. I've got some little crumblies in there. I could have done a little bit more. Let me do it just another little turn or two so you can see the crumblies. Now, there they are. That's the crumblies left from the other biscuits. I'm going to put it out in my hand so you can really see it good. And I just throw that part away. There they are. They're little hard pieces of crumblies from the biscuits that I made the other day. So now I'm ready to make some more biscuits. And what I do is I take this over to my flour that I keep in those jars right there. And I get me some, I'm going to use the self-rising today. That's what I use to make my biscuits. I got my super in that one. Let me take it out and put it in this one. I'm going to fill this sifter up. Now, you really won't get any crumblies now because there's no crumblies in this. I just sift it to separate it. Kind of fluff it up a little bit. And so I take that and I do the same thing. I put this over it because I'm telling you, for years I didn't know to do this, and I figured it out on my own. And the reason I figured it out, I got those green jars over there in my window, and I've got other things in here that I don't want a white dust on. So I just do this. No, nothing's flying up in my face or on the counter or on the floor. That's it. And it's all in here. Now what I do is I've already greased my skillet. And I took my buttermilk and shook it up real good. So now all I need is my grease. And today, I mean, you could use and I make me a hole in here. A bird nest, I call it. You can use any kind of grease you want to. I'm using lard. It tastes good and it's natural. And I kept it in the refrigerator so it would be cold. And your biscuits rise better. I got my oven over here set on 500. There's one, I'm making a bunch, so there's one chicken egg size. Get another one out. It gets stiff. And there's another chicken egg size, a little chicken. Somebody said the other day, said, Brenda, that looks bigger than a chicken egg. And then I fill the hole with buttermilk. And sometimes I have to put in a little more, but anyway. Let me see if I can get you sitting up taller, and I'll let you look down in the bowl. Because some of y'all are still practicing learning how to do it, and I want to make sure that you know how. Let's get you up here like this and turn you down like that. Let's see. There. Now you can see. Okay, and so my hole is full of buttermilk. And I like to use whole buttermilk when I can because it's thicker and it has more of a flavor and it's got all the good stuff in it. So sometimes I can't find whole buttermilk, but this one's whole. And I found it. And I'm just moving that, I'm doing that grease up there in the buttermilk. I really hadn't started pulling in much flour yet, but I'm fixing to. All right, here we go. Let's start pulling in flour from the sides. Not the bottom, but the sides. Okay. Kind of mix that in like that. And all of a sudden, when you do, keep doing around, you're going to find that you've got a ball of dough in there. That's what you're going to find. And y'all, please don't be afraid to do this. Somebody said, Brenda, I've been watching you, but I'm afraid. Well, listen, I think that a lot of people, what they do is when they start, they're watching me and they hit their camera or their phone and it stops it, it pauses it. And then they kind of catch up with me and then they start it again. If you don't know how much buttermilk to put in there, put at least a cup or cup and a half, okay? If you're making this many like I'm doing. You'll have to experiment with it, y'all. Don't be afraid of it. All right, there's your ball of dough. Okay, what you want to do now is you want to put some flour out here on your little surface because we're fixed to put the dough on it. Not much, just a little bit in my hands. All right, I'm going to get this off of my hands, and this is how you do it. Okay, like that. Take your dough out of the thing. Turn it over a time or two. You don't want to overwork biscuit dough. You just don't want to do that because it makes it stiff. And let me tell y'all this in case you don't know it. I think you do know it and you're afraid of it. Make sure that your oven is 500 degrees. Now, my mother taught me that. And I think in the olden days, they're the ones that actually learned how to do it because they had wood stoves. And when you have a wood stove, that thing gets hot. I imagine it was more than 500 degrees. And they cook their biscuits in it. The hotter you've got your oven, the faster the biscuits cook. They rise up quickly and they're done. But if you do it slow, y'all, if you do it slow, like a 350 or something like that, your biscuits are going to have to stay in there so long that they're going to dry out. Let me wash my hands. Once you've washed your hands, you want to make sure that you flour them because you don't want anything sticking to them. Now I've got to find my biscuit cutter. Hold on a minute. Okay, I like to have panicked. I thought I couldn't find this thing. All right, so here's what you do. Put your biscuit cutter, I use an old can, you got to have both ends out, in your flour and tap it. And that's so that this won't stick to it. I put mine down and I give a gentle turn. I know some people don't, but I do. And I put it over there on my pan, and I do it again. Like this. I just kind of bend down and then pull it out like that. It's not much of a turn, but I do turn it. I can put 5 in a row on this one. I could cook 25 biscuits on this one pan right here. You could use a smaller pan if you need to. Use whatever you want to, baby. Y'all, there's just nothing to this. Once you've mastered dough, just think of the stuff you can make. You can make You can make biscuits. You can make dumplings. You can make chicken pot pie. You can make all the cobblers, peach cobbler and blackberry cobbler and apple cobbler. You can make an apple roll. You can make fried dumplings. You can make ham pot pie. I'm telling you, you need to master dough, and there's just nothing to this, y'all. It's really not. Please don't be afraid. I want you to learn how to do this. And then once you learn how, get your babies together and teach them. Those little 10 and 11-year-old girls, they need to know how to do this, y'all. They need to know how to do it. And you can teach them. Don't leave this world. Hey, y'all, don't leave this world without teaching your skills to your children and your grandchildren. Don't do that. Don't leave this world without teaching them. Now, all right, pull all this extra up with the tips of your fingers and kind of reball it up. So you can use all of it. Some of y'all's mamas and grandmamas, they used to make a ball and kind of roll it in their fingers, woo, and then press it down. And that's fine too. Whatever works for you. But this is how I do it. All right, I got one more space left, and I need another pile of dough here. All right, here we go. Here, and this I save, and I just add flour to it to make it stiffer, and I keep adding flour until it gets real stiff, and that's what I can make my fried apple pies out of, okay? All right, so here are our biscuits like this, and I'm going to put them, I've got my oven set on 500 degrees, and I'm fixed to put them in just a minute, and I'm going to show you how they turn out. Okay, y'all, my oven is at 500 degrees, so we're going to put our biscuits in. And you're going to ask me, you're going to say, Brenda, how long do you let them cook? Well, here's the thing. The type of pan, and I'm going to turn my eggs on high. I got about 28 eggs in here. I'm going to turn them on high, and I've got lard, about a tablespoon of lard in the bottom of this. Anyway, y'all are going to ask me how long to let the biscuits cook. Well, I'm going to be standing here doing these eggs, so I can maybe time it for you. Okay, it's 25 minutes till 7 right now, so we'll see. But here's what I want to tell you. The type of pan that you cook it in makes a difference on the texture and on the length of time it takes to cook. Well, your oven, what kind of oven do you have? If you've got a gas oven, that's going to cook differently than an electric oven like mine. And if you've got one of those convection ovens, know this. Your biscuits will not turn brown. They just will not do it in a convection oven. I don't really like to cook biscuits in a convection oven, but I will say this. I did a little workshop one time for some children. Well, they were high schoolers. It was their home ec department. And so they wanted me to show them how to cook a biscuit. And I went and I made the biscuits, and each one of them got to make biscuits too. We had everybody had their little station, and we were doing it together. We all made our biscuits. We put them on our pan, and they said, what degree do you want to set them on? I said, 500. And I said, you don't have a convection oven, do you? They said, yes. Well, no, I panicked because I knew they weren't going to turn out good. And well, we had to cook them on that convection oven. But it seems like we had to turn it down to 400, and that air, blows around all in there. It just blows around in there, and and the biscuits dried out, and mine weren't that good, and theirs weren't that good, and I was so disappointed because I wanted their little biscuits to be good. So if you've got a convection oven, you need to turn it off with the convection oven. Can't you turn it off? You don't have to have it on convection, do you? Can y'all see the eggs? I think you. So anyway, so when I cooked my sausage this morning, which I cooked those in the oven with just a little bit of water in it, the grease and water kind of mixed, and I poured some of that sausage grease in these in these eggs too, because that makes them really super good. What I'm doing is when you're cooking like this, you want a hard spatula and start at one side and scrape the bottom, and it'll make like little curdles. See there how they're doing? Come over here and let me show you something. All right, so when you go down like that and you come up, you see that little stuff that's making. I'm scraping literally the bottom of this skillet. And at the end of it, I'm going to turn it down some. But right now, I've got it on high. But I'm not leaving it. I'm not leaving it. Because if you leave it, your eggs will scorch on the bottom. So I am just doing this. I'm scraping the bottom and just making these little doodads. So anyway, I got my pies cooked over here for this morning. I show you, well, I can't show you them. I can't do that and do this all at one time. But let me keep scraping these and I'll come back with just a minute. Okay, I want you to see the eggs and how they're doing. I've got them on 8 right now. After my eggs got hot, I turned them down to 8. And they're just about ready. I don't like mine dry and hard. I like mine soft. All right, I've got my little bowl thing right here, and it's not cold. I kind of heated it up just a little bit. And you take this and pour this in your bowl, and it's heavy, 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 heavy. This is what I got a little stuck on the bottom, but see, it's not in my eggs, so that's a good thing. And I'm going to cover them up with foil, keep them warm. The little pan is warm, and I'm going to put them over here in my basket, and then we're going to take out our biscuits. I wanted you to see my pies before I pack them up. Aren't they pretty? They're going to be so good. Okay, y'all, I peeked and my biscuits are done, and they cooked 12 minutes. This is how brown I like them. But now y'all can do yours like you want to. Remember to turn your oven off. And I'm going to cover mine up with a clean towel. And I'm off. I'm gone to the Cottle house. Y'all take care. Love you.